beginning with the end in mind. This is going to be your first step in positive thinking. What I've seen in many other the other courses that are teaching similar stuff to mine is that they don't teach the mental positivity, the mental fortitude necessary in order to achieve your objectives. This is going to be your first step in thinking positively, because if you don't know where you're going, if you don't know your destination, well, then technically any path will lead you there, right? But that's not the way to go, because if you take any road, then you might just end up in a random place that you didn't want to be. So you always want to begin in mind, with the end in mind. And I like to start with a simple parable that is called the parable of the stonemasons and the cathedral. And the parable goes as follows: that once upon a time there was an architect. He had designed a cathedral, and he wanted to go visit the build site and see what the progress was. He goes to the build site one morning, and he sees three stonemasons there who are breaking stones. He walks up to the first stonemason and asks him, "What are you doing?" And he says, "Well, what does it look like I'm doing? I'm breaking stones. Now leave me alone. I'm busy." So the architect walks to the second stonemason. And the second stonemason, he asks the same question: "What are you doing?" And the stonemason says, "Well, I have this southern wall to complete, and I have to build the southern wall by, this afternoon. Otherwise, I'm going to be behind my schedule. So I need to complete this wall. That's why I'm breaking stones. So I'm busy. Just leave me alone." The architect walks to the third stonemason, who is doing the exact same thing, breaking stones, and asks, "What are you doing?" The stonemason pauses, stops breaking stones. He looks around in awe and wonder, and he replies, "I am building a cathedral." And that is the difference between somebody who begins or works with the end in mind versus someone that does not. You have to begin with the end in mind, otherwise, you are going to lose focus. And it's as simple as that. There is nothing that can focus you more than making sure that you keep your objective, your goal in mind constantly. And just like those stonemasons, you will have to break a lot of stones along the way. There are going to be many things that you will have to do that are going to seem at the time that you're doing them insignificant. Learning one additional programming technique, learning one additional data structure, one additional algorithm, one additional technique. You're going to be like, how is this helping me get at my job? This is just, unless you keep that focus in mind, unless you begin with the objective in mind, you will lose focus. Don't lose sight of the cathedral, because along the way, you will have to break a lot of stones. So, in order to do that, in order to help you do that, I want you to write down your objective. I'm going to give you in the next slide an example of an objective. But I want you to write down what you're trying to achieve. What's your goal? What's your objective? And don't make it about the job. Yes, the job is going to be nice, and but basically make it about what getting the job will do for you. What is it that you're going to get as a result of the job? Because there are plenty of people who are going to be miserable in a cloud architect or a cloud engineer job as well. That could be one of you, right? That could be you. If you end up making the job the objective, then I'm afraid it will not bring you happiness. It will not bring you joy. Make it about what it is that you're trying to achieve: more time with your family, financial freedom, quitting a job you hate, more time with friends, whatever. Write that stuff down and print it and place these objectives with this objective and the sample objective that I'm going to show you in just a second. Write it down and put it somewhere that you are going to read over and over again. Place it, put it in uh, tape it at the top of your um, bed, put it on your desk, tape it on your desk, place it somewhere that you're going to view over and over again, that it's going to be in your face over and over again. You're going to read it over and over again. Your objective will change and evolve. Sometimes you might have to start with a vague objective and you may not know exactly what you're going to do, and you can reach specificity later. You can be specific later, but you have to start somewhere So why don't you write it down? I'm going to give you an example in the next slide. So your objective might be, I want to become a certified cloud developer, and I want to be hired by a Fortune 500 company as an entry level cloud developer in the next year so that I can quit my barista job. I can take my family on a vacation to Disneyland that we've always dreamed of and pay off all my student loans within the next 5 years because I'm going to be making more money. That you can write down as a potential objective if this is what you want. But the thing is, your objective has to be yours. For example, you may not enjoy cloud development. You might end up becoming a cloud architect or a cloud security professional. That's fine. You can change it later. You want to be hired by a Fortune 500 company. Maybe you don't want to be hired by a Fortune 500 company. Maybe you want to work for a smaller firm, or maybe you want to work for a startup. Whatever. Write it down. Or if you don't know, you can make this objective a little bit vague for now. You can say things like, I want to become a cloud expert and I want to be hired in an entry level cloud engineer position so that, and then you can specify what that's going to do for you. For example, in this example, quit your barista job, have more time with your family, take a dream vacation, pay off your student loans, financial freedom, time with friends, whatever you need, right? The first part of this is going to change over time, which is what specifically you're trying to do. The second part is going to remain reasonably steady. How or what you're trying to achieve it for. You're trying to do it for your family. You're trying to do it for your financial freedom, for your own sanity, because you hate your current job. Whatever that may be, write it down. And this objective, as you learn more about what you're trying to do, is going to evolve. And as you evolve that objective, write it down and print it out and throw away the old one and post the new one. I hope that's clear. This is going to be your first homework assignment for this course. Make sure you do it. I have given you some examples and pointers on how to write your objective, so get to it.